Fantastic. On this particular cruise, aside from the entertainment, we have the privilege of sharing with you some crucial information about products and about what forms the basis, the platform of the Annique product range, specifically Rooibos. Now, many of us in this audience have tried Rooibos before. I grew up, ek is Afrikaans, ek kom van 'n Afrikaanse huishouding, en in ons huis het ons altyd Rooibos tee gedrink, maar as kind het ek het gedrink met kondensmelk. When Angelique doesn't watch, I still drink it with condensed milk. Is die lekkerste Rooibos tee in die wêreld. En is gezond en is lekker. So, I've been introduced to Rooibos since a baby, that's why I'm so healthy, but only really about the wonders of Rooibos after joining Annique. One of the first people that I met is a lady called Jeanine Marnewick. And Jeanine Marnewick is a wonderful academic who's doing some phenomenal work in the world of Rooibos. She, a few years ago, became a professor at Cape Town Provincial University of Technology, and she's done years of experimentation in biochemistry. Her Rooibos research started about 12 years ago. Her research is on disease prevention, protection and recovery of heart tissue. They found that Rooibos increases the antioxidant capacity in human blood. Rooibos lowers cholesterol. It prevents mutations, in other words, tumors and the like. It also aids in the prevention of skin cancer, but what Jeanine also found out is she found in her experiments that if you drink 6 cups of Rooibos tea a day, it becomes less and less likely that you might ever get cancer, supported by Professor Carl Albrecht of the Cancer Association. She recently completed the first ever human intervention trial at CPUT using the popular traditional South African tea to determine whether Rooibos can lower the risk of cardiovascular disease in adults who are at risk. And the results of this study were presented locally and internationally. So, with not much further ado, I'm going to ask you, please put your hands together for a wonderful woman, a wonderful academic, and a wonderful person who is going to help us, and I'll chat with you about it later, do some amazing things in the world of Rooibos. Welcome, Jeanine Manovich. Thank you.
Ernest, it was great for me to get this invitation from you, and also it's great for me as an academic to actually tell everyone about our work that we are doing. Usually we are stuck behind a laboratory desk where we are doing our research, and it's not really very glamorous work that we are doing, but if I look at all of you around me, I'm thinking, wow, excellent job choice. You do what you love. Yes, so I can just get some inspiration from this. But hopefully you will also get some inspiration from the work that we do in the laboratories. And I'm going to tell you about, mostly today, about the work that we've been doing on humans. We started this work about 17 years ago, so it's a long time we've been coming along with Rooibos. And I've had so many pleasant surprises by Rooibos. So today I'm going to concentrate on looking at the heart advantage of Rooibos, what it can give us. So the whole thing, why are we looking at the heart? The heart is part of a very intricate system, and it also gives rise to, if everything goes wrong, to a group of diseases we call non-communicable diseases. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on the non-communicable diseases in South Africa, introduce the possible solution for it, the scientific evidence we've done, as well as give you some supporting evidence from other parts of the world. It's not just us in South Africa working on Rooibos, it's other parts in the country and in the world as well. And then give you some part of a summary that you can take home with, and yes, apply that in your everyday. Right, so I was talking about non-communicable diseases. Those are diseases that are non-infectious and non-transmissible amongst people. And the burden of non-communicable diseases is immense. 36 million deaths in 2008 were due to non-communicable diseases. That's 63% of deaths. Cardiovascular disease contributes daily to that total. 195 daily deaths in South Africa is caused by cardiovascular disease. Cancer, 1 in every 4 of us will become a cancer statistic. That is very high. Chronic respiratory diseases contributes to all of that, as well as diabetes, which is definitely on the rise. So if we look at the big 4 in the non-communicable diseases, where can Rooibos fit in making a good impact in helping against these diseases? I can, just by looking at the first 4, I can tell you now, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and diabetes. Rooibos has got that definitely going and getting it under control. So in South Africa, our burden of this non-communicable diseases is 2 to 3 times higher than any developed country. So we are still battling with a higher increase in these diseases. Globally, they expect a 15% increase in these diseases, and the greatest will be in Africa. On our continent, 20% increase. So we definitely have to start doing something to prevent this. Economic burden, I don't need to talk to you about economics, but $1.3 trillion it puts on the global economy every year. Locally in South Africa, 8 billion rand. Right, so the diseases that are involved with oxidative stress, and that is where my specialty comes in. Most of these diseases are caused by oxidative stress or has some link to oxidative stress. And we are going to focus on the heart disease, that's an inflammatory disease as well as your cancer, which is also an inflammation. So certain dietary compounds have been shown to be very important sources of antioxidants. You are hearing about the antioxidants in Rooibos. Definitely there is very good antioxidants, and Rooibos has got very unique antioxidants, which makes it a perfect source to actually fight these diseases. So definitely for the past 10, 20 years, people have been focusing on incorporating plant products in their diet to actually help your body to increase your antioxidant capacity to fight these diseases. Right, so that is the possible solution that we are going to try and make, is add something to your diet to actually give you a fighting chance to fight these diseases. And these are phytochemicals, and as in Rooibos, you have a very unique phytochemical called aspalathin. And those phytochemicals we have been busy researching for the past 17 years, as I've said. So there's definitely a link in other research as well, that the intake of these phytochemicals actually prevent your lifestyle diseases like cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. So why are we taking in antioxidants? As I mentioned before, these diseases are linked to oxidative stress in your body. You need something to neutralize those free radicals in your body, and those are called the antioxidants, and Rooibos is full of them. So we have a very great product, proudly South African product, that we can look at and say, this is a possible solution for all of us. So these antioxidants aren't just, it's not a concept that is based on something new that we just grabbed out of the air. No, it's based on the 5 to 7 a day fruits and vegetables portions that is recommended by the World Health Organization, the WHO. They recommend we take in 5 to 7 portions of fruits and vegetables a day to actually give us enough antioxidants in our body to neutralize all these attacks. Very recently, they've upped their servings to 7 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. So you will see how important it becomes for us to take in sufficient antioxidants. We did a study in South Africa about 5 years ago, just to look at what do we actually take in, South Africans, what do we take in on average daily? We only take in about 2 to 3 portions of fruits and vegetables a day. So we're not even close to the 7, never close to the 9 portions of fruits and vegetables that we should be getting in. So now we need something to actually supplement our diet, to actually give us enough antioxidants to help us fight these diseases. And this is where Rooibos comes in. When I started this research, I thought, Rooibos, great, I grew up with it, and I drank it as Ernest drank it with condensed milk. It was the greatest. But no one actually thought of, is there any goodness in it? So yes, when we started the research, we thought, right, let us start from the beginning. In a petri dish. We started in a petri dish We did some experiments. We found some great results. I went to my supervisor at that time. I said to him, I don't believe this. Can't be. It's just a tea. He said, well, then go and repeat it. That is what research is about. You research until you are convinced. And I did it, and it came out again. Fantastic results. And then we kind of progressed. We went into animal models where we induced cancers and other respiratory diseases as well as inflammatory diseases, and we still get these amazing results. But as they say, the proof is in the pudding. We are not animals, we are humans. That's why very recently we started doing the clinical trials, the intervention human clinical trials. That is going to give us really the good information we wanted to know. Is it effective or is it not? So I don't need to tell you about Rooibos. You all know about it. It's a unique plant growing in a unique area in South Africa, and it contains unique phenolics. No other plant in the world, it's the only plant that contains aspartame. That is great. That is excellent. So we must make use of those natural resources we have and build it into our daily lives. We've got an excellent opportunity here. Right, so just to give you an idea, that's how the plant looks. It grows up to about 1.5 meters in its natural state. There's definitely a growing demand for exports. That, again, I don't need to tell you. From about 1,800 tons in 1999, it's now over, I think it's about 6,000 to 8,000 tons already that we are exporting. So it's not just us that's interested, it's the world that's interested in Rooibos. And I still believe it's really sad for me to see that more things go outside of South Africa than we are consuming inside. Right, just a very quick idea to give you how does it go from the plant that they harvest. It gets cut up, it's spread out in heaps where they've fermented. It gets dried, spread out in the sun where it has that very nice red color developing, and then obviously it gets packaged. Before that, there's a pasteurization step to ensure that there's no salmonella, no ugly bugs or microbes that you want in your tea. So you can see all of this is still taking place in the natural sun. There's no artificial light, anything coming in. Everything is a natural process. Great about Rooibos. Just to make you aware of the two types we get, the green and the red. The red is the traditional one that we know. The green is just gone without the fermentation step taking place. Why make green? Because it contains, again, different antioxidants than your fermented, but also higher levels. But also, remember, higher is not always better. It depends on your application that you want to use it for. Right, so this is just a beautiful photograph of one of the farms we visited that Clive took, and it is just amazing to stand in front of that farm with all this Rooibos spread out in front of you and that smell. It is fantastic. So if you ever have the chance to go up to Clan William, have a visit to one of the farms there, it is fantastic. And try and go when they are busy with their processing, and that's usually from, I think, the beginning of this year, January to about March, April. Right, so as I said to you, we've got a unique herbal tea here in South Africa. What makes it unique? We know it doesn't contain any caffeine. That is great in itself. It has a very low tannin content. Again, great. That's why we can give it to our children and our babies, because the tannins are the ones that are interfering with iron. So whenever you have a baby and you give it just normal tea, black tea, that tea can inhibit the uptake of iron. And in the end, you will sit with an anemic baby, but not with Rooibos. And this is something that we have to start the education of our healthcare professionals out there as well. There is an option, and that is Rooibos. You can give it to babies because it does not interfere with your iron uptake. And of course, for the Americans, it is great because it's a herbal tea that you can consume with milk. Mostly their herbal teas you can't consume with milk because it's a lemon tea or lemon-based tea or something, and it curdles the milk. But Rooibos you can consume with milk. Right, so we moved from the animal in the cage, our experimentation, to the human. And in this intervention trial, we were looking at people not taking any medication, but that were at risk. So we are looking at Rooibos as an intervention model not as a cure. Rooibos isn't a magic bullet that's going to cure everything. We want to give our bodies a fighting chance to actually prevent us getting to the disease stage. So we looked at people at risk for cardiovascular diseases and looking at how Rooibos can actually modulate that risk. Then we also looked at safety data, because none of us know if Rooibos is safe for us. We've been drinking it for 300 years, yes, but no one knows if it is safe. We wanted safety data on Rooibos. And then also, again, we know that it doesn't interfere with the iron uptake, but can we show it? Is there any scientific proof? And that was another part of the study, as well as your lipid profile. You know your lipid profile, your cholesterol profile tells you a lot about your risk for heart disease. Right, so this is what we did. We had 40 patients, 26 females, 14 males. We asked them to drink 6 cups of Rooibos tea for 6 weeks, 6 cups per day for 6 weeks, and those 6 cups had to be spread out throughout the day that they're taking in. We had a very strict controlled dietary record that I had to complete. We monitored their health, their body weight, their blood pressure. We did a health check on them. We did a Framingham score on them, scoring their chance to develop heart disease in the next 10 years. And all of them had a risk of between 2 and 10%. We drew blood samples from them at various time periods, and then we went through a whole lot of blood tests. All right, so firstly, we could show that Rooibos does not have any detrimental effect on your health, which is very important because that's the first thing. Remember, other people across the world don't know Rooibos. So the first thing they know is a plant product that you are taking in, is it safe? Yes, we could show it is safe. We looked at liver function, we looked at kidney function. It did not adversely affect any of those functions. So yes, we have now safety data. We could also quantify if those people were really taking in Rooibos or if they were taking in some other flavonoids through their dietary records. And when they were taking Rooibos, they were taking in 340 milligrams of Rooibos per day, whereas when they were drinking the control, which was just water, they were only taking in 27. So, and we correlated this with the increase in the total polyphenols in their blood. So yes, the thing had worked. On the blood pressure, we did not find any effect there. Right, so in terms of the oxidative stress status of these patients, what happened to that? To me, it was absolutely amazing because it's the start of atherosclerosis is really the oxidative damage that takes place to your lipids, to the fatty acids in your blood. That is being oxidized. That's the start of atherosclerosis, your inflammatory diseases. And we did 2 markers of DNA of lipid damage in the blood. The one is malondialdehyde, which was decreased by the Rooibos intake by 54%. That is significant. And the other one is conjugated dienes. Again, 35% decrease of this oxidative lipid damage product. Excellent results, we thought. Then we thought, let us look at the redox status, just the overall health status, the oxidative stress status in these people. And Rooibos increased a very small molecule in our body called glutathione. That is a very important antioxidant in the body, and Rooibos caused a significant increase in that little compound called glutathione. Glutathione gives us a fighting chance every day when we are attacked by free radicals. So this was, again, great. Glutathione in itself, how it works, it takes on all the onslaughts of the free radicals. So glutathione will get damaged. It will get recirculated and to get to the good part of glutathione again. So that is a total circulation taking place the whole time. And Rooibos helps this whole process. So what did we find in the lipid profile? This was very interesting to us. The lipid profile, the total cholesterol levels were decreased by 10%. Although it wasn't not significant, to us we were looking at more the type of cholesterol. And you'll go to your doctor and ask them, there's good cholesterol and there's bad cholesterol. Rooibos significantly increased your good cholesterol. It significantly decreased your bad cholesterol, that's your LDL, and your triacyl glycerides. Those are little fat droplets floating around in your blood. Rooibos decreased all of that. And just to give you a little relationship between a decrease in this LDL or bad cholesterol and coronary heart disease, it reduces your risk by 1%. So just by drinking Rooibos, you are decreasing your risk. How easy is that? It's not a special medication. It's nothing that you have to monitor yourself by. You must just enjoy your Rooibos that you are drinking. Right, so in summary, we had significant decrease in oxidative lipid damage. That is your cholesterol. We also had an increase in this little compound called the antioxidant glutathione in our body, and we improved our cholesterol profile. And this was picked up by a lot of media across the world as well. One of them, the Medical Chronicle, where they actually said Rooibos, a wonder tea, finally gets the scientific nod for cardiac benefits. Very good to get that recognition for Rooibos. So, as an add-on to the study, remember I said we also wanted to see, does Rooibos interfere with the iron uptake? And we did a whole iron profile in the lipids, in the blood of these people taking part. And none of those iron markers were changed by Rooibos. Again, in the South African context, because it was a South African group we looked at, Rooibos did not have any adverse effects on these markers of iron status in our body. As an add-on to that, I have a colleague working at the University of Stellenbosch, and she's looking at stress. We're all working in a very highly stressed environment every day. So cortisol. I'm sure some of you have heard of cortisol, which is your stress hormone. What does Rooibos do with cortisol? Amazingly, we found, and this colleague of mine found it, Professor Swart, that Rooibos favors the inactivation of cortisol. So there, everything comes together where people say to me, but Rooibos is a calming tea. That's how it can be, through regulating the cortisol. Okay, so it's not just us that are getting these results. People from across the world are getting results. This was a Swedish study, if I'm not mistaken, where they took 17 healthy participants. These were healthy people, not even people at risk, but healthy people, where they consumed 400 milliliters of Rooibos, and then they draw blood every 30 minutes until about 180 minutes. And they looked at this ACE enzyme. So the ACE enzyme is very much involved in the development of cardiovascular disease. And what did Rooibos do? Because they used these ACE inhibitors as the first line of defense against high blood pressure. Okay? Rooibos actually decreased the activity of this enzyme. Is that not great? So it has a protective effect through the inhibition of this ACE enzyme activity. And this study was published in 2010 and as well 2011. Right, so another one from Japan, a study where they looked at a colitis model. This was done not in humans, but in rats, where they find Rooibos to actually have an anti-inflammatory effect, as well as help for kidney stones. And this was quite a nice one, for not a beauty or a health application, but for a practical application to keep cookies that they were giving out in a feeding program, to keep it from going rancid, because you want to increase the iron in some populations of kids. And those Rooibos that they added to these cookies kept those cookies from, protected those cookies from going rancid. And they found the same thing in South African druiwors. If you put it with game druiwors, I think they did, and they put it a 1% Rooibos extract with the game druiwors, it actually protected the fat in the druiwors from going rancid and getting oxidized. So they're a very nice application, again not health, but a practical application in our food industry. Right, so as I said, diabetes is coming up very strongly on the calendar, and there's a lot of mouse models, a lot of diabetic rat models that are now proving that Rooibos, and specifically asparagine in Rooibos, can help protect against diabetes. The other one, this is for the more health or the more beauty conscious, is where they applied Rooibos in combination with green tea extract. So that is a very powerful antioxidant extract that you have going there. They applied it to the skin, twice a day for 28 days, and they saw a 10% reduction in wrinkles. There you've got your proof. So what you are selling is great. Then for the males as well. The males, with a bit of thinning hair, and not with age, you kind of tend to lose some of it. They topically applied a botanical blend that also contained the green Rooibos for 12 weeks. What did it do? It actually increased the hair density, the growth rates, as well as the number of hair follicles on these men. So I think what you are working with is really, really, really great products. So again, from Korea, this is more recent. In the this year they published the two fantastic antioxidants in Rooibos, aspalathin and notophagin. It's proven to actually help against inflammatory diseases like sepsis or septic shock. Again, anti-inflammatory, very good. Luteolin, orientin, another two compounds that you found in Rooibos, enhance the mineral content of human bone cells or osteoblasts, which is great for people with osteoporosis and where they have a problem. Again, yeah, it's also because Rooibos don't contain any caffeine, and caffeine can be very detrimental to your bone health. So one has to be aware of all these studies coming out, and they are really pointing us in a direction saying, yes, Rooibos is good for us. So when we started the research 17 years ago, there were very little scientific publications on Rooibos. So people they were interested in Rooibos, but not really. They had green tea and all the other things going on. But ever since we started publishing, I think our first started in 2000, you can see a very nice increase in your scientific publications coming out. And now we are looking at about 300, 400, 500 publications per year coming out, scientific proof that Rooibos is good for you. Right, so we take really every opportunity to inform people about all these good and wonderful things we find out about Rooibos. So I really have a privilege to travel all over the world to come and tell the people about what we have in South Africa and why it is good. And let me tell you, the first thing they do is ask for proof. They want scientific proof. So this is the whole thing of the process. You do your research, you work out your results, you publish in good accredited scientific journals, and then you go and tell everyone this is what you found. And then it is great. In Japan, they let you actually sit with a lawyer to go through the whole process and say everything that you are saying and claiming, there is a publication for it. Very good educational for me as well. Right, so if I take everything into consideration, all our results, all other people's results, I think we've really emphasized that Rooibos is a beneficial beverage for us and that we should really all make it part of our day, which I really don't have to tell you because I'm convinced that you really do take in Rooibos every day. And we can really maximize these beneficial effects by enjoying it throughout the day, not just start off or end your day with a cup, but throughout the day. Right, so none of this happens overnight, and usually there's a big team of us involved with the research, and I would like to thank every single one of them. I think through the years I've graduated about 18 or 20 postgraduates, mostly on the PhD level. So I'm very, very proud of every single one of my students and what we have achieved. And I'm really excited doing the research that lies ahead of us. And I think we are just scraping the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Rooibos and health products and health benefits for the country. So this is my message to you. Keep calm and drink Rooibos.
Now you know why I'm so crazy about the lady, because she gives me tools to work with that change not only my life but everybody else's. Jeanine, thank you so much for the wonderful work that you're doing. We're so proud of you in terms of an academic institution and the way that you're impacting the overseas institutions. And here is just a little gift from us, and I'm proud to say every single one of these products contain Rooibos. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. What I'm not not going to do is I'm not going to recap what Jeanine said, because now you know about 150% more than you knew when you came in here. The only thing that I want to say to you that is crucial to you as an Annique consultant, the whole purpose of marketing is to distinguish and differentiate yourself from your competitors. When we look back for 43 years and see how far ahead of the game Dr. Tron was, we only now start to understand how big an advantage it has given us as a company. Annique owns the Rooibos platform. And for many of you, if you say, well, Rooibos is Rooibos is Rooibos, in 2 minutes I need to say to you, Rooibos is not Rooibos is not Rooibos. Because many people who sell Rooibos on the shelf is 80% stick from the bush, 20% leaf. What you need is you need 80% leaf, 20% stick. Because the goodness, all of the polyphenols and the bioflavonoids that we see are in the leaves. That's where they are. So what we have done in Annique is we are light years ahead of the rest of the game. You need to understand how significantly we are differentiating ourselves. So what we've done in terms of tea, we make sure that it's always export grade 80% leaf. We export, I don't know if you know this, more than 70 tons of Annique Rooibos tea to Holland every single year. And the Annique teas are selling more in Holland than they are in South Africa. As Jeanine says, that's an indictment. We've set new standards, so we've measured polyphenols, bioflavonoids, ORAC, and every batch that we get must meet that standard. In addition to that, we use the extracts in our products, our facial products and our health products. We've gone and we've set standards for those as well. We're at the moment working with Professor Jeanine Marnewick at CPUT. They do most of the analysis for us. We've started to work with Professor Lizette Hubert and her team in Stellenbosch, where they are going to do certain clinical studies and clinical trials so that you can make claims on the teas and the shakes that you're busy selling at the moment. And we're working with Professor Janetta Duplessis at Potch University, where they are going to do clinical trials for us with the efficacy of Rooibos in the prevention of skin cancer. What we're doing is we're giving you tools that doesn't just distinguish and differentiate us, it puts us on a different planet. What is important for you is you gain that information, you gain that knowledge, and you use it when you're out there sharing this wonderful company, this business opportunity, and these amazing products with everybody out in the marketplace. And incidentally, I saw a whole brand new application for Rooibos tea bags today. You know what it is? I see some of the ladies are wearing them as earrings on their ears. You can have the healthiest ears you've ever had, ladies. Well done. I'm glad to see that you're so innovative. So again, Jeanine, thank you very much. We will keep you posted and informed on the research that's done. But to come along and to float your boat, welcome back on stage, Adam. Thank you.